Hey folks, how you doing? It's Mark. I'm here to do a review of my Chibson Les Paul standard copy. I recently purchased this guitar off of AliExpress. Total time to fabricate and ship was less than a month. 2 weeks to fabricate and less than 2 weeks to get shipped to my door. Very happy dealing with AliExpress, their way of doing things. I'm very happy with the way the seller and I were able to communicate. AliExpress was able to broker the deal because you send the money into them and they hold on to it until the guitar is done, and then they release the funds to the seller. Everything was super smooth. The guitar itself, I'm very, very happy. Out of the three that I've purchased in the last couple of months, this is definitely the best by far. I've changed absolutely nothing on this guitar except for the strings. My band, Share the Burden, we're an all-original Long Island metal band. We tuned down to C standard, so the 10s that were on here would have been too floppy anyway, and they're cheap strings. I slapped a set of Ernie Ball 11s on here. I'm happy. So when you hear me play it, the pitch is going to be a lot lower than what you're used to when you hear these reviews, but you'll get the idea. Standard, everything is standard. I haven't changed the tuners, haven't changed the pickups, haven't changed the hardware, haven't changed the switch, done nothing to it. Everything is stock. Very happy with this flame maple top. As far as what this top is, I don't know. I know the body is definitely mahogany because she's coming in at about 8.5, 9 pounds. Definitely the heaviest guitar of all the three that I purchased. The top, it could be a real maple cap. It could be a maple veneer, which is a really paper-thin piece of maple. It could be a photograph, for all I know. I don't know. All I know is it looks good. Gibson logo, everything standard up there. The only thing that's really different would be where it says Les Paul Standard. No, that's got to change. That's got to come off. I'm going to put one that says Standard on there because a real Les Paul Standard, it just says Standard. It doesn't say Les Paul Standard. Everything else about the guitar is fine. Used it in rehearsal the other night. Put it through a Line 6 HD 100 Bogner all-tube head. It was a monster. You know, it's got the built-in solid-state effects. Ran it through a Line 6 4x12 cabinet with vintage Celestians in it. Again, it just sounds like a monster. I'm very, very happy with the tone of this thing. One thing I do want to say as a sidebar, I got into a little conversation with some guy on one of my reviews who just kept on going back and forth with me, telling me how you can't compare a real $4,000 Les Paul with these cheap $250 piece of shit knockoffs, as he called it. Bottom line is, yes, you can. What are you talking about over here? Wood, metal, strings? Are some of these parts inferior to a real Gibson? Sure. But if I put some real Gibson tuners on here, if I put some real PAFs in here, if I swap out the switch, I put the 500K pots, Tone Pros locking bridge, maybe I spent another couple $100. I have a really well-playing guitar, well-sounding guitar, one that looks killer, and it makes me happy. Even just the way it is, I'm happy with this guitar. No complaints. But if you really wanted to mod it up a little bit, so maybe for a total of $500, let's say, you got yourself a real kick-ass guitar that is comparable to any real Gibson Les Paul that's out there, I'd say it's worth the shot. So what is that now? It's a commentary on how great the Chinese are at replicating a really good American product, or is it a commentary on just how bad the product workmanship is in the Gibson factory? Hey, look, we've all seen what's going on with Gibson. You know, they've been going downhill for the last couple of years. They fired their CEO. It's just not the same as it used to be. I'm reading on some online forums that they're actually taking people off the street, giving them a week or two's worth of minimal training, and they're pushing them into their custom shop. So the person who's building that real expensive guitar from their custom shop has little to no experience in their field. So if that's the truth, if that's the case, then that's a sad state of affairs for Gibson. But again, this is not a $4,000 Gibson Les Paul. But you put this in the hands of somebody who doesn't know it's a copy, they'd be hard-pressed to actually know it was a copy. Okay, so as far as it sounds, again, Line 6 practice amp, basic stuff. Should turn volume. Now in the rhythm position. I'm very happy with the way this guitar sounds so far on the clean setting. Deep, rich, full ringing tone. Each note articulates well, and I'm again playing through a small little practice amp. There is something to be said now for the Chinese workmanship. They're doing something right, whether we want to admit it or not. Here's what the guitar sounds like in distorted mode. Very fast playable neck. Action is perfect. The guitar is perfectly intonated. It's got some balls and chunk behind it. All right, middle position, both pickups. This position is when you have both of the pickups engaged, you're getting that nice deep bottom end sound, that it's hard to describe, that like sweet spot, but you're also getting that stinging high from the treble pickup as well. I'm probably not explaining it right, but hopefully you know what I mean. In the total rhythm position, again, that nice bluesy warm sound. Folks. To me it sounds great, and again, playing through a small little practice amp, and I think I'm getting pretty good tone out of this guitar. Say what you want for these guitars. You don't have to like them, don't buy them. If you like them, find a seller that you like and go for it. But to say that you can't compare these guitars to a real Gibson Les Paul, you're crazy. We're just talking about some wood and some metal over here. There's nothing inherently different between the Gibson models and this, save for maybe some more expensive pickups, some expensive tuners and whatnot. They're using maple, they're using mahogany, they're using all the stuff that we're using here in the US. It's just being built by a cheaper labor force. Is the quality of the pickup here the same as a real Gibson PAF? No. Is the quality of these tuners the same as real Gibson tuners? No. But it is on par. It's not falling apart on me. So it's up to you to decide what you think is worth the money. I have very expensive Les Pauls. I have very expensive Paul Reed Smith guitars. But to have these available to go on stage with and use these instead of having to take a real expensive guitar out every single night, to me it's a no-brainer. Again, please throw some comments down. Please subscribe. I'll try to make more videos as I purchase more of these guitars. And I encourage dialogue. I answer out every person's comment as soon as I possibly can. I have no problem with negative comments as well as the positive comments. We're all here to help each other out. As always, have a great day. God bless.